Mecklenburg Police gave us a preview of some new crime-fighting initiatives.
Yeah, we told you yesterday, overall crime in Charlotte down 3% in 2024 compared to the year prior. However, violent crime spiked 3%.
Now the police department plans to introduce new programs to cut down on that number and keep us all safe.
Yeah, WBTV's Mary Calkins walks us through the new plans.
CMPD is considering implementing a new program known as Drones as First Responders. And that's exactly what it sounds like. When police are responding to a 911 call, drones would go ahead of the officer to provide an aerial look at the situation. CMPD officials tell me sending a drone out before an officer arrives gives the officer critical information that can keep everyone involved much safer. Drone footage can also be used by the Real-Time Crime Center. It would also help communication staff see what's happening and know which teams to dispatch. Several police departments across the country have already implemented this program, and CMPD is exploring the idea.
This means the first officer to arrive will have a much clearer picture of the situation before any interaction occurs. This information can help officers de-escalate situations faster and lead to safer outcomes for everybody involved.
Again, CMPD is considering implementing the Drones as First Responders program. But one program that is definitely going into effect is CMPD Switch. That stands for Safety Wellness Initiative Toward Community Households. The goal is to cut down on shootings into homes. In 2024, there were 860 incidents where bullets were sprayed into a home. According to CMPD, children are victimized most frequently when a home is shot into. 964 kids had their houses shot into last year. CMPD Switch will add more resources to investigating, solving, and making arrests in these cases. CMPD says when the program is officially launched, anyone who provides information that leads to the arrest of someone who shot into a home is guaranteed to receive $500 cash from Crime Stoppers. Reporting from CMPD headquarters in Uptown Charlotte, Mary Calkins, WBTV, on your side.
Mary, thank you.